Hello, my name is Fred Morstetter, and I'm a graduate student at Arizona State University's Data Mining and Machine Learning Lab. I'm here today to introduce you to our new system, TweetXplorer, which allows a user to analyze and find events in data collected by our sister system, TweetTracker. A user interacts with TweetXplorer by defining groups of hashtags. These groups represent topics that the user feels are important throughout the course of the data. So we will begin using TweetXplorer by defining a group of hashtags which were used to collect data in TweetTracker. These hashtags are #turkey, Turks, and the Turkish spelling of turkey. We click sync, and at the bottom left we see a timeline visualization of the most important, of all the days in the dataset. Initially we see a spike in the dataset on October 22nd. What we'd like to do throughout the course of this video is to see what happened on this day, what makes it important in this data set. So initially we move our time slider to the day October 22nd. This calibrates our map visualization and our network visualization to this day. The map visualization shows the hot spots. It's a heat map showing the regions that tweeted the most about this group on October 22nd, 2011. So here we see some hotspots in Istanbul, England, and all of Europe. If we were to zoom out, we would see all of Asia and the hotspots there. If we were to move over to the Americas, we can see hotspots, the regions in North America and South America that care the most about this group of hashtags on this day. So knowing the important regions is good, but it's also important to see the most prolific tweets. TweetXplorer helps the user find the most prolific tweets by showing a network visualization, shown here in the main pane. The retweet network is important because retweets help show what information propagated the most through the network. When a user retweets another user, they copy that user's status and post it in their own timeline, allowing the user who was retweeted to make his information flow throughout the network to more users. So what we do here is we show each user and the users who retweeted him. The darkness of the center color helps give an idea of how many retweets the user received. Here we can see in the middle that the user HDNER was retweeted by 492 people, and it looks like he's one of the darkest users on this day, so he was probably one of the most retweeted. So let's click on him and see what his most important tweets are. We see here that here's a list of his tweets, and below it is a pie chart. Each slice of the pie corresponds with the colored tweet at the top. So this light green tweet, seen here, is the most retweeted tweet of the day by HDNER with 147 retweets. We see here that the tweet text, breaking news, 25 buildings and 1 student housing unit collapsed in Ersis Van, Red Crescent, Turkey earthquake, might indicate that there was an earthquake on this day, which accounts for the spike. So let's add a new hashtag group for earthquakes. Here we see that #earthquake was used by HDNER. We can also see that it looks like the earthquake occurred in Van and Red Crescent. So we will add hashtags for both of these regions and click sync. The network updates, coloring the nodes as appropriate. It shows nodes that were used that used the hashtags defining group 2 in green and the hashtags that were used in group 1 in blue. We can see here that Kate Starbird was retweeting about tweets from the green hashtag group because her outside color is green. So it's good to know the users who were retweeted the most because it helps to understand how much penetration they got on the Twitter network on that day. But clicking a user, we can also see that it updates the map visualization showing where the retweets came from. This can help to give us an idea of what regions this user was able to penetrate to get their information to, and it also helps us to understand perhaps even where this user is coming from. So here we see the user was able to get the tweets out to Turkey, Europe, the United States, and much of Asia as well. So moving on from the retweet network, we're going to analyze the map to see what people are actually talking about in the regions. So let's zoom in to, say, Istanbul and see what people are talking about there. As we zoom in, we see that the heat map goes away and individual dots are replaced. Each individual dot represents a single tweet by a single user. Clicking on a dot shows the user's username and their text. Brushing the region brings up a pop-up showing the list of tweets that were brushed. It also changes the retweet network to only show retweets that occurred in that region. Clicking the tag cloud will show us the most important hashtags and words used by people in the region. We see here that #ban, #turkey were the most important words of the day. So we close our pop-up and we pan over to Van, which was where the earthquake occurred. And here we are. We can see that Van is a pretty hot region, which makes sense given this is where the earthquake occurred. And we can come over here and similarly pan this region to see the tweets coming out of it. We see that people tweeting here have different words. They're talking about Eastern Turkey, October 2011 earthquake. It looks like they're talking more about the earthquake rather than the locations. So this helps us get an understanding of what people actually experiencing the earthquake talk about as people who are supporting the victims and talking more about humanitarian assistance. So this is an example of how TweetXplorer can be used to help find an event in a sea of data. It helps the user understand the important days in the data and what makes those days special. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy using TweetXplorer.